Greetings and salutations, folks, and welcome once again, as always, to another helping of Mr. H's Hot Pot. Join me today for day 12 of Mr. H's Florida vlog, or vlogs as he likes to call them. Just been down and topped up with the now obligatory beverage, Fanta, that I have in the morning. Me pick me up. I've gone over to an Americanism, haven't I, there? Me pick me up. And I think the drinks machine, something's gone wrong with it down there, because these cups, they have them RIF chips in them to stop you just going down and filling what you like, but they're not working at the present, so everybody's filling whatever they can, Bowsers, big barrels, you name it, they're down there filling up. So I'm sure by tomorrow's vlog it'll be fixed. They'll stop that off straight away, won't they? Anyway, today we're going to be going back to Hollywood Studios and going and doing some more Star Wars stuff, because Toby really enjoyed it. Unfortunately, Mr. H is nursing a bit of a sore neck. I was on Big Thunder Mountain yesterday in the Magic Kingdom, which is like one of these runaway man trains. And as I've said in a previous video, I don't like roller coasters, I'm not keen on them. But at the behest of my son, I went on it. Unfortunately, the lap bars, it's a double lap bar that goes down on you, and obviously I'm bigger than Toby, so it comes down to me, and then he's still loose in the seat, so I've had to try and hold on to him with one hand and hold on to the handrail with the other, and I'm sliding about in it because I've got shorts on, and you know, the seats are smooth. So as we did one of the turns, I've slid over onto him and I've tried to pull myself back so I didn't crush him, and I've twisted myself on it. I went straight into another turn and I wasn't expecting it. So that's Mr. H and roller coasters done for this particular vacation, I think. They are not Mr. H's cup of tea. Anyway, on to today. Today there's no roller coasters. I think there's only one in Hollywood Studios, Slinky Dog Dash, and I won't be going on that one. I'll be skipping out. Mrs. H started him off on them so she can finish. Now, one thing that I've noticed with Mrs. H is she's starting to mention little things back in the UK, such as proper bacon and Warby's bread that she's missing. And I think when you get to the stage of your holiday that we're now at, we're with another 4 days and then we're back on the plane to dear old Blighty, and you never get the last day, do you? You're busy packing and things like that, and just hanging around waiting for your transport to take you back to the airport, so you don't get your last day really. So in effect we've only got 3 days really, although I'll try and push a last vlog in for the vacation. I'll try and do the full 16 days. And when you reach this stage, your mind sort of starts drifting back home. Mine hasn't yet. I'm still in holiday mode, and I'm going to try and keep that up, squeeze as much out of it as you can. Paid enough for it. But when you're on holiday, what do you miss back home? For me, I start missing fish and chips and things like that, and it's the food I start missing. It's funny really. You start missing things as you wouldn't normally touch back home, but you start craving them when you can't have them. It's that old thing, isn't it? If somebody turns around and says you can't have that, then you want it. And that's the theme for today. What do you miss when you're on holiday and you can't have it, you know, when you're in Turkey or whatever? As I said, for me, it's the food. One thing I'll be going and partaking in is one of Mrs. Gent's pies. I think probably my first little video when I return back home to the UK will be me enjoying a Mrs. Gent's pie. But yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed this holiday. You can't beat just getting away and switching off. I mean, I've seen some people, hot potters, when I've been in the parks, and they're there with the laptops and they're battering away emails to work, and they're on the phone trying to sort stuff out, and they're supposed to be on holiday with the family, and they're shoveling food in, and in next breath they're turning around saying, yeah, we'll go on that ride next, you know. And nowhere. I don't do that. What I end up doing when I come abroad, I make myself, you can't get in touch with me. That's one of the downsides of technology now. There was a time if you went away on holiday, I've said this before, people couldn't get in touch with you. That was it. You was out at country for 2 weeks. Even at UK, you was away for 2 weeks and nobody could get in touch with you. Now, with mobile phones and things, it's good in one sense, but it's bad in another, you know, like what can get hold of you. I once remember, we was in Belgium, myself and Mrs. H, it was before we had Toby James, and we was just getting to grips with the traffic system. We got stuck on this roundabout, and we were going round and round on this roundabout, couldn't get off it. And my boss was ringing me out phone, and picked his sake, and threw the bloody phone into the back. I can say that now because he's retired. So even if he does watch this, there's no comeback. But yeah, it's no good when they can get in touch with you. There's no way would I do that. You spend a lot of money to come to Disney and then you're dealing with work. No way. Either that or you don't really want to be here, you've been dragged here and you're doing the work because you're trying to have a break from the Disney stuff yourself. But I wouldn't do it. There's the sound of the crickets in the background. Can't make out if it's cricket sound or whether there's actually something to keep the mosquitoes down and things like that. And it's an high-pitched whine to sort of kill them off. I don't know if it's that. I'll have to try and look that one up before I leave. And some of the staff have got used to Mr. H now. They've got used to me doing the daily vlogs, you know. Sometimes you'll see me in a vlog. There goes the golf cart, right on cue. And when they see me, you know, they'll acknowledge you. And that's good. That's good. I mean, you know, hotel staff normally they just walk past you, don't they? But here, they're very good. If you get to a lift, or an elevator as they call them over here, and they're already waiting to go in it, if you arrive as a guest, they'll let you go in first and they'll use the stairs. So they're very courteous. They don't even walk on the grass. I caught two of them that were going to cut across, and when they saw me, they nudged one another and used the footpath. Obviously, they're told, in front of guests, you're on your best behaviour, which is good to see. Anyway, Hot Potters, it is clocking up now to 7 minutes, so I'm going to slowly wrap this one up and get back upstairs to Mrs. H, who's obviously pining for dear old rainy England. It's quite true. I remember watching Porridge, the film. Have you ever watched the film Porridge? Which I'm sure you do. If you ever watched Christmas TV, you'll have watched it back in the UK. And in it, Fletcher, he says to God that they end up in a situation where they end up outside at prison through no fault of their own. They're forced out by one of the other prisoners who's on an escape attempt. And he manages to get away, and Godber really falls out with Fletcher, and he turns around into him and he says, you know, why didn't you let us go with him? And he just says, you know, look, they all end up coming back, whether it's rainy Halifax, stormy Bristol. He rattles off a load of English names. He says they end up coming back. They get sick, they get homesick, and they come back. And it's true. No matter where you're from, you'll always get homesick. I'll always miss Wigan. I'm a Wigan lad through and through, me, and I'm proud of that. Speaking of which, Jamie Topping, you asked me a question the other day and I didn't get a chance to answer it regarding Fireside Thoughts. For those of you who know what Fireside Thoughts is, you know what I'm talking about. Those who don't, it doesn't matter. And you've asked, would I do that again? Well, the nostalgic side of me, yes. However, myself and my former co-star, we're two different people now. I certainly am. I'm not the same chap I was back in 2017 when that series of videos wrapped up. You know, I'm a dad now, and it changes your outlook on things. I've mellowed a lot more. The same anger isn't in me. Can't speak the same for the other fella, but just one of those things. I sort of would be open to it, but a lot of apologies on both sides. A lot of humble pie would have to be eaten on both sides, and neither of us like the taste of humble pie. So I'll leave it there with that one. I am open to the idea, but you never know. Never say never, as Sean Connery once found out. Anyway, on that note, I'll wrap this video up. So, until the next time, from myself, Mr. H, here in sunny Florida, still enjoying the old Fanta. It is. Bye-bye for now.